Well, now we get to just another very interesting part of this story involving Lot's daughters. And in this case, they don't think that there will be men for them to have children with. So they decide, and it's the older one's idea, that they're going to seduce their father, actually get him drunk, and then sleep with him while he's drunk, and have children by their father. And so the oldest daughter does it first one night. Lot doesn't know, and then the younger daughter does it the next night, and Lot doesn't know. And so these daughters have, sexual relations with their father, and they both get pregnant, and one gives birth to Moab and the other Ben-Ami. And so it's the Moabites and the Ammonites. And so these are the people groups that the Israelites have to fight later. So there's a few things we can learn from this. One being that when we function out of fear, which is what these daughters did, they said, ridiculous things, that there were not going to be men in this world for them to sleep with. And so they functioned out of fear and slept with their father. And you might say, I'm never in a situation like that. Well, you'd be surprised. How many people are in a job or in a relationship they should not be in, but they're in it because they're afraid, right? They don't think there's other people out there, or they don't think there's another job out there. And I think it looks gross to God when we do that. When you function out of fear, it looks just as gross as what these girls did to their father. So don't do that. So don't function out of fear, right? And the other thing we can learn is that when we do function out of fear, it makes life more difficult, and it creates an enemy for the offspring of faith, right? So Isaac was the offspring of the promise of faith, all right? And the Israelites came through him. And so they had to fight. The offspring of faith had to fight the offspring of fear eventually. And so you can see that with yourself, right? If you're in a job you shouldn't be in, that's going to fight what you should be doing because it's taking your time, right? If you're in a relationship you should not be in, it's not good for you, but you're afraid and you don't think that somebody else might have you, or there's a better relationship out there. If you're afraid to get out of that relationship, of being lonely or whatever it is, that is fighting and taking your time and making you unavailable to the person you're supposed to be with. Maybe somebody of faith, somebody that is good for you, that God has for you. So don't function out of fear, because it's gross and it's crazy, like what these girls did. If you could see things from God's perspective and from the angels' perspective, they're probably grossed out and they think it's crazy what we do out of fear. And then also, when you do that, it is just going to make things more harder for what God does want in your life. So just learn that from this story.